How's it going? This is the Mighty Z of Capital Chaos TV, and we're hanging out here with King of Deceased. How's it going, man?
Fantastic. Here we are in San Francisco tonight, ready to fucking thrash our brains in.
And you just pulverized the states in your van, putting in about what 24 hours of drive time.
Yeah, we came from down in D.C. to start it all off. We went on a quick 9-day show of shows. We rolled through Tennessee, and then they overnighted 22 hours straight right after we played to get to New Mexico, on to Phoenix, on to San Diego, on to L.A., and now tonight in San Francisco. It's just roll, roll, roll. That's the way I like it, nonstop. Go, go, go.
Hard work.
Hard work, but fun work.
Now, how did you get into metal?
I got into metal through just music got me to metal, obviously. I started with the Beatles. I got me to Kiss, being 9 years old at the grocery store with Mom and seeing blood all over some man and stuff. And I'm like, I want to check this out. And I'd seen the pictures before I heard the music. I went to an after-school kind of daycare thing when my mom worked. My dad died when I was real young. So I went to this daycare center, and this guy turned me on to Kiss. He sent me with a note across the street. Got me a Kiss Destroyer record, brought it back, heard me some Detroit Rock City, fell in love with Kiss, which got me to stuff like Van Halen and Ted Nugent and Aerosmith and all of that, which got me to stuff like the Plasmatics and the Ramones and Motorhead, which got me to stuff like Maiden and Priest and Sabbath and, you know, the Dio era stuff. And then it was Venom, Merciful Fate, Voivod, Sodom, Slayer, etc., etc. And it always just kicked my ass harder and harder and heavier. And
did it stop at a certain point as far as, you know, like do you get off on shit like Whitechapel and Born of Osiris, newer stuff?
I'm not really much on the new stuff. I'm kind of, you know, I'm 44 right now, and I'm from the old school. I'm from the rock and roll roots, you know, sure. First chorus, solo, verse, chorus, out kind of thing. And that's what I like. I like a good chorus. I like anything heavy, good riffing, you know. I like a lot of speed. I'm into aggression, things like that. I'm not so much on the modern productions, and a lot of what the bands are doing today is a lot of studio tricks and Pro Tools kind of bullshit that's kind of ruined it all, you know, the naturalness of it all. But I do love my classics. When people come to me, it's still the classics, Maiden, Saxon, and stuff like that is what I grew up with. Right. That's what I'll always love.
No, I understand completely. Now, do you go way back to the early mid-'80s, Deceased, right? 84, right?
We started in 84, and our first demo was 1986 called The Evil Side of Religion. And we did a demo then, we did another demo in 88, we did a third demo in 89, and we were signed to Relapse Records in 1990. We were the very first band to ever sign to Relapse Records, which, you know, now is pretty much an entity in itself.
Right.
And we did a nice run with them for about 12, 13 years, and we kind of went on our own after that. But we've been around, right now this is our 29th year together.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing. And did you ever get a chance to play any shows with Possessed?
I played with Possessed at the Maryland Death Fest, okay. But back in the day or anything like that, we never did. I saw Possessed and Dark Angel on the tours back then, the Darkness Descends tour with Possessed too. Good guys. Jeff Becerra is a fucking great guy. Knew all those guys. Used to talk to him on this thing called the Phone Pirates long ago. So you're on the West Coast. Maybe some people remember it. We used to talk with Les Evans from Cryptic Slaughter and people like Bobby Blitz from Overkill. We had this big phone line. There's about 15 or 20 of us talking on the phone. Chuck Shuttlener used to be on there with us. Wow. And Betsy Bitch used to be on there with us.
Conference calling.
It was a conference calling. It was a guy, a friend of mine, Bill, his dad was something to do with Radio Shack, and he could get like all of us talking around the world. I remember our big thing was we wanted to get Kronos on there so bad.
Right.
And one night someone got through, but I don't think he ever got on the line with us, but we used to do this all the time growing up. It was really fucking fun, man. Really fun. And Possessed was a part of that too. Like Jeff Becerra would come on there and things like that.
True metalheads doing metal things, metal talk and stuff.
Yeah, AT&T times right back then. Back in the days when all you had was a phone in the wall and you just try to talk, and you know, the pen pal days and all that.
Right, like Cup and a String.
Exactly, Cup and a String.
And now your last album, Surreal Overdose, came out in 2011, right?
Yes, it did. On Shrieks from the Hearse Records, Paddock Records. We went on our own and did our own thing, and from there we just continue to do what we do now. We've just signed for a 2-record deal with Hell's Headbangers out of Ohio. Is a great underground label, and we're really happy to work with them because they're professional, they're honest people, and you don't get much of that at all these days in anything, and especially in music. They've done everything they've said they want to do for us and more so far. We've got a new album we're working on now called Ghostly White, which will be our debut on Hell's Headbangers. I can't tell you when it'll be out because it'll be a little while still, but there's a new record coming from Deceased called Ghostly White for, I'll say, early 2014 it'll be out.
Excellent. And Now, do you have kids?
I have a son, 23 years old, Kingsley the Fourth.
And does he like metal?
He loves exactly the same shit I do, and I don't know how that happened. I never pushed anything on him. I remember him being a kid, sitting in the car, singing stuff like Michael Shaker Group in the car, and he was into stuff like that, and Rush, Free Will, and Voivod, Outer Limits was a big one for him, and Uriah Heep, a Bomb and Hog album, things we grew up with, you know. And I played in the car. Riot Restless Breed's one of his favorites, and he just one day opened the door, and I looked in his room, and he had Venom posters up, and he knew all the craziest shit. He was into the craziest shit. It wasn't just like your typical shit. You know, it's a lot of really, really underground Iron Angel posters on the wall, or Blessed Death, or you know, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, he's totally into it. He's 23. He's doing his thing, and he's fucking, and I love him to death.
That's awesome. And Clive Burr died today.
Oh, it's fucking awful. Fucking one of the greatest fucking drummers. 3 of the best fucking albums, Maiden, Killers, and Number of the Beast. One of the world's best hi-hat drummers. I loved everything he did for the band, and you know, he's been fighting that MS for years, and it finally got caught up with him. Damn shame.
Is it possible to have one favorite Iron Maiden album?
Iron Maiden's my all-time favorite band. And I really do have a favorite Maiden album, which for me is Peace of Mind, which is the first one without Clive. But I love everything. I still love what they're doing now. A lot of people don't care for what they're doing anymore, and they say it's too drawn out. Bass solos, choruses are too long. I love what they're doing. I love the Final Frontier a lot. But I guess people have their time. Like, I'd say this with a lot of albums, you know, it's kind of like where you grew up. There's a special meaning behind certain records. Number of the Beast is really the one for me that kind of really kicked my ass, because it was like the epic stuff on there. Children of the Damned, Hallowed Be Thy Name, 22 Acacia Avenue, the longer tunes just fucking blew my face off. So that one means a lot to me too, but I'm just sad for Clive. It's a fucking shame. 56 years old, that's way too young.
And right now you're on tour with Grave Hill. Are you familiar with Grave Hill?
Absolutely. They're great guys, especially Mike and Rhett. And Rhett and me talked a bunch and set this tour up. It's just a little 9-show joint. But we're just going across quick. You know, it's, hey, let's get off work for a little while and go out and just fuck the world up, you know, and have some fun and blast some, you know, death metal from the grave as far as we are. Grave Hill are great guys. They've been nothing but supportive for us the last few days. You know, we get to know each other even better because they're West Coast, we're East Coast. But we've known each other. We met up in Buffalo a few months ago and talked about doing this. And it became realism really quick.
That's awesome. And finally, what's next after this jaunt for Deceased?
When we get back home? Deceased is writing the new album, as I said, Ghostly White. We have a couple things we're working on. We have a thing coming out on a China label called Area Death Productions, which we're actually, we did a bunch of covers over the years. We did a all-punk covers thing called Rotten to the Core a few years back, and we did pretty much an all-metal thing called Zombie Hens that we did as well. Both have been sold out for a long time, all covers. So we're going to put together something called Cadaver Traditions, which is everything we've ever done cover-wise, double disc, with a bunch of extra stuff, and we're recording 3 more covers for it. We're doing the Clash London Calling for the punk side of things. That's a record I got into when I was 11 years old, and Snow White, Do or Die from their first Isle Hill to the EP, Chicago band, and then the old band, British band Eccentrics, who did a song called No Compromise, which I always love the title and the theme about it, and it's fast and crazy like that. We're going to try to do more shows. We're going to get through the year. We're going to get the new record out. We're playing Keep It True in Germany next year, 2014, so we got about a year here of spinning around and writing and recording a new record and then fucking just doing it all again.
Right on. The passion
never stops, ever, always.